record this because I think it's important. We've just seen it come up, and I think there's some confusion. I want to make sure that we're all clear about the confusion on inspection deadlines, times involved with that, and what can happen with this, right? So we're just going to use standard contract timelines. If you take your inspection period from 10 days to 14 days, fine. It still applies. We have an inspection period, right? So we have a contract date, and then we have 10 days to do inspections. And we do inspections, and at the time we provide notice of this inspection, we provide an inspection notice, right? If we do, we can let it expire, and then we own the property as it is. We have an inspection notice. Let's say at the time we submit the inspection notice, either offering to renegotiate, cancel, or if we cancel it, it's done. Either accepting it as is or offering to renegotiate. This really applies to that. So we offer to renegotiate on the 9th day, right? Our inspection period is done. We can no longer conduct inspections. Once we provide notice, that is finished. And then we have, from this 9th day, we have 5 days to come to a resolution. Complete resolution. At the end of this 5th day, if we don't come to a resolution within this period here, then either party may cancel the contract, the buyer or the seller. Until then, the seller can't cancel it. It's all buyer's rights. Okay. Prior to this, the expiration of the resolution period, let's say we get to this part and we don't have a resolution yet, and we're coming up on the end of this thing, we can do one of two things. We can either ask for an amendment, extending the resolution period prior to the expiration, and then we can continue to renegotiate, or we can have the clients accept the contract as is. And they do that on the bottom of the resolution of unacceptable conditions amendment. Space at the bottom, check the box, buyers sign it, sellers don't have to, and they can accept that. Okay, so these are important dates here, because if you miss this one, your sellers accept it as is, or your buyers get to accept it as is, unless the seller agrees to do some things. If we miss this date here, then either party can cancel. And I'll tell you what's happening with a lot of this. And why this date is really important. And if you don't get it, you have to get it signed. Get it signed and don't resolve it. Or don't wait for it to happen, right? If you don't have it resolved, you need to get a signed amendment extending it, and don't rely upon the other party's word. Because here's a lot of what's happening on this period right here, right? The sellers know that at the end of this period that they can cancel the contract. At the end of that 5 days, they know they can. And on the back side of it, they've either got seller's remorse, or probably more likely, they've got another contract in hand for more money, better terms. And the game the agents will play at this period of time is they will stall. I'll get it to you, yeah, I'm talking to him, I'll talk to him now. And that cancellation comes in at 12:01 at night. They wait there and they hit go. It's signed and it's ready. Okay? Regardless of what you think, kind of relationship you think you have with the listing agent on the other side, oftentimes they're not in control. So make sure that you do that. Make sure that you get it extended, or if they want to buy it as is, if you've got a buyer who wants the house, and you get to this point, the conversation needs to be, we need to accept it as is. If we can't get an amendment, or chances of them walking are pretty good. And unfortunately, that's where we are. Any questions about this? Yes?
Does it matter if I gave it to the seller that night and she didn't sign it until the next morning, so it was dated the next morning without me?
What do you mean?
The inspection was passed the 5-day period and she signed it.
Explain this to me.
The buyer gave conditions of what he wanted fixed,
Mm-hmm.
sent it to her. She didn't sign it until the next morning.
The buyer?
The seller.
The seller didn't sign it to the next? Once the seller,
Should she back?
no.
Okay.
Well, once the seller signs it, that's a good question. If we go beyond the 5 days, right, nobody cancels and the seller does sign that resolution, then we have a signed resolution. They can ratify that extension simply by signing it, okay?
Would you suggest extending on the original contract, the resolution period, to maybe keep selling? Because if you switch that, if you change, extend it to 10 days on the original contract, then the seller knows they're gonna have to keep their house on the market for another 10 days, because it was only 5 days. And it might give you a little better chance that they won't cancel. Make it feel.
Can't you, I thought you could put 10 business days instead of.
You can put whatever you want in
Yeah.
there.
You can extend to 1. I think that's a good point. And I think maybe with the inspection period now too, talking about those dates, right? It may be a good idea to extend those dates simply because people are busy. We had an issue come up with this where we couldn't get an inspector till the 9th day. We couldn't get a report till the 10th day, and or the 11th day, and we were out.
Yeah, I've had a couple different offers in the last month where they've extended that 14 and 7 days.
So I think that's a good point. Extend it out, give yourself time. It doesn't matter what the time you put in here. Once you send notice, though, it's over, right?
The challenge with that, though, the challenge is that we're in a competitive market, and so if I'm listing it and you're sending me 20 days of inspection,
Right, yeah.
that buys my seller to pass on that if we have people with better offers.
Right.
So that's it's just hard to, it's not.
Right.
20, I would tell.
So let's finish that in just a second. Let's go back to the questions about this real quick so I can Nadia put her phone on that.
If you are the buyer's agent and you can tell the seller is stalling, if you're telling me, we've submitted our inspection docs, this is it, this is finalized, but you can sense a stall, can I resubmit a resolution that's a little less pushy during those 5 days and gain more time?
Sure. No,
the time is still.
The time is solid, time is set. The way you act within that, the only thing that changes the time is an amendment extending it.
So day 4, I submit a less cushioned resolution saying, please address this.
You still have 1 more day. You still have 1 more day to get to a final resolution, right? So resubmitting doesn't extend anything. Only an amendment, extending the time does. Any other questions? Bye, thanks for watching.